Well, joining me now is Michael Oluwagbemi, who is the Program Director and CEO of Presidential CNG Initiative. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
You know, we've been hearing of this CNG, and I'm yet to meet somebody, a Nigerian, who has converted, maybe I'm not current, you know, a Nigerian who has converted their vehicle to CNG.
Yes.
Exactly how many units or, you know, kits do we have in the country right now? Mm-hmm. And how many people have accessed it as we speak? Yeah,
at least, once again, good evening. Thanks for having me. Good evening to your viewers. Conversion have started. If you joined us earlier today, you'll actually see a few vehicles being converted at that site. Under our own program, we've activated conversion sites in 7 states, and additional states are always being added.
7 states would be, those states would be which states?
In Lagos, in Ogun, in Oyo, FCT, Nasarawa, Niger, and Kaduna.
Right.
And those states are, of course, being increased every day. We expect that before the end of September, we should be in at least 15 states, and before the end of October, we should be in about between 20. And, so we are expanding our footprint every day. So far, we have over 50 conversion centers signed up under that initiative, this conversion incentive program. With the president announced, we allow 1 million conversion vehicles to be able to get converted for free or almost at every discount, like the Rideshare that we launched today. In Nigeria today, we have about 10,000 vehicles running on CNG, and it's increasing every day, every minute. In our own conversion,
10,000. That's still like a drop in the ocean.
Yes, it's a drop in the ocean, but it's a lot better than where we were this time last year. It takes time. We do not have sufficient conversion centers. We only had 7 of them when we launched this program in November of last year. Today we have well over 123, of which 50 plus are under our program. So again, you have to have those conversion centers. Each conversion centers may have between 2 to 5 bays and might be able to do 2 conversions per day in a day. Right. So if you do the maths, you can see you are constrained. Even with 100 conversion centers, you are constrained to about 1,000 conversions a day. And with 200 working days a year, you're definitely constrained. But you must proceed. I mean, a journey 1,000, start with the first one. And that's what we're doing. And we also have to proceed to make sure that we ensure those vehicles, when they're done, are properly done. So you need to make sure you are, at the same time we are adding conversion centers, we are also building technical capacity. We are training technicians. We did the sign-in with the Ministry of Labor, working with NITT under the Ministry of Transport, and they're doing MS training across the country for 500 technicians, and we're going to do more. More technicians
for a start.
Yes, more technicians mean more conversion centers can have staff. More staff mean that we can convert more vehicles. So these things are going on side by side.
How long does the training last? I mean, for you to...
So you're training...
Are they certified?
Yes, so they're certified through NITT and MBT. A first training for an existing mechanic. So we are using folks that are already doing the work of working on vehicles, and they just need to add these skill sets to their capacity. And so we can do that in a week or 2. But that's the first training. You need to continue to train, because there's an aspect of this that is also software programming. You have to do calibration for sequential kits, for example. Right. You have to understand how to calibrate the ECUs to make sure that the injection of the gas is happening at the right time to the pistons to make sure your engines are safe. So there's a comprehensive program behind the scene. What we did today was to launch the e-hailing cab.
Let's talk about that
program.
Yes.
Yes, and what we did,
and the incentives, you know, for this
absolutely
riders.
Absolutely. So you have to know first thing first. Why is e-hailing important to us? In Nigeria, there are about 7.5 million users of e-hailing cabs, according to research. This bringing about $240 million in revenue to our e-hailing companies across Nigeria. 240
million.
Yes, as at 2020.
Dollars.
Yes, dollars. Right. As at 2020. Nigeria accounts for about 15% of the African market. And it's growing every year at about 5 to 7%. And it's accounting for the huge number of people being moved in our urban centers, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, FCT, Kaduna, Kano, Ibadan, even Ife and Benin City. Our students, this is what they use every day. The young people out there, they all are using Uber, they're using Bolt, they're using InRide and InDrive and the rest of them. So our deal here is to say, look, these are private vehicles under normal circumstances. They're now being used for
Commercial,
transit purposes. So the owners are not just using them for mass transit, they're also using them for personal use. But we're going to give them some kind of relief to allow them to be able to do these conversions from day one. That can save them up to 70% in terms of cost of moving around. And so the federal government is giving a 50% discount to them and doing that upfront. And then working with financial partners that can even finance the balance. Right, and we're doing that for all of these rideshare
Financial partners will be the banks?
Include banks, include some financing companies. Even some of the convention centers actually are offering their own financing.
How do they access this facility that you're providing them?
So they go first to our website. So it's www.pci.gov.ng. Once they go /vehicles, once they go to that website, they will be able to sign up. Once
PCI.
.gov.
PCI.gov.ng. Right.
Then /vehicles. So it takes them directly to the CIP program site.
Okay.
And once they get to that site, they will be able to sign up. Once they sign up, there will be an examination they will give us information about their vehicle. Yes, there are requirements. They have to be registered with any of these rideshare apps, number one. And then they will give us their information, including information about the vehicle and themselves, including their NIN, to make sure that we are dealing with real people. On the back end, those information will be verified, and they will be checked against our database of conversion kits to make sure their cars is convertible. If their cars are convertible, we'll email them a voucher. That voucher will also instruct them to do one of two things. They can either...
The convertibility, does it have to do with the age of the vehicle?
Yes, it has to do with the age of the vehicle. It has to do with the technology of the vehicle. It also has to do with how well the vehicle has been used. So while we can do some of basic checking on the desktop, they still are required to go have physical inspection. So once they get the voucher by email and text message prompts, they will be able to take that voucher either physically to a conversion center that we've directed them to, or they can download the My CNG app, which we also launched today.
Right.
If they decide to download the app, which is probably easier for most of them since they're used to app and we don't want them to stop working while they're trying to get this done, they will be able to schedule an inspection. Upon passing an inspection, they will then be booked for conversion.
And this is expected to take how long in terms of...
It depends. It depends largely on it. It typically can take you from a week to 2 weeks. Yeah. there
very quickly, I mean, there was this strategic meeting with, the finance minister, budget and planning minister, and what have you, on the issue of CNG. Give us the highlights of that meeting and what the outcome of it.
Yes, the intent of the meeting was to ensure the acceleration of the funding for this program. Ultimately, in Nigeria, there's budget, but there's also funding. And funding decisions are made at the Ministry of Finance, and Budget and National Planning also has a lot of input. So the meeting was for them to understand the framework of what our needs are, and then to make sure that they are doing that according in terms of planning the releases of these funds to us for 2024. And of course, under 2024, we have the main budget and we also have the supplementary. So that was the purpose of the meeting. We do hope that the outcome of that meeting will allow us to be able to assess the next tranche of funding that is available to the program. The president have done his bit. He's made sure he made a very robust provision for the program. I think it's left for our civil servants to do their bit and match with the president's promise.
How long will CNG serve Nigerians? How sustainable? So many questions being asked.
It's going to serve us. It's going to serve us.
50 years.
No, way more than that. So we have our current
electric vehicle.
Yeah, no, our current reserve can serve us for 99 years. But we've not even discovered all the gas we can discover. I believe that we probably have 250 years worth of gas on our feet in Nigeria.
That's great to know. Michael Oluwagbemi.
You and I will be long gone.
You can say that again. Program Director, Chief Executive, Presidential CNG Initiative. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.